Hello, you are welcome to my channel. Today we want to look at how we can digitize georeference and digitize map of administrative map of Nigeria. We assume that this map has been produced and was already in a hard copy in or hard copy map, and then this was scanned and brought into the image environment. You know how to load the image. So the next thing we are going to do now is that we want to georeference this map and then digitize it. We want to georeference it using the coordinates that are at the edges. Now we have the paper, we have the map area, we have the coordinates, we have the eastern and the northern. So we go to georeferencer. Georeferencer is part of the tools that are generic to QGIS. So once we install the latest version of QGIS to give you the window, to give you the opportunity to georeference your map. So when you are you reference the when you load the georeferencer will give you another window which you can use to georeference your map. Georeferencer. So if you are in georeferencer, now georeferencer will open for you another window, and here you can now open the raster. Opening raster image, you navigate to where you save the raster image. In our case, we search for where the raster image is located, and that's where I will see new Nigerian map too. So you have here, so you have the image, the one I opened for you. So you can now georeference. Georeference is we want to attach grant properties to your map, grant property to your map. So we can now see, you see this point, this grid line shows that the eastern, which is the longitude, is 15, while the latitude is 15. So you come to under the toolbar, under the bottom bar, you add point. So when you add point, you make sure that your crosswire the cursor is on the crosswire, and then you now say 15 degree 0.00, and the other one is 15 degree 0.00. You click OK. Then you can use your pan to move it to lower place, or you use in this case now, this is a 15 degree longitude, and then latitude is 3 degree. So we add point, and then this process is we are georeferencing. We want this paper map to mimic and represent real life coordinates. So the eastern here is 15, is 15.0, while the northern here is 3.0, 3 degree. So you can now navigate to, you use this, navigate to other area. You need at least 3 points. Preferably, you can use 4 points. So come to this area. Let's see what we have here. This here is 3 degree north, 3 degree east. So we are adding at a point, and come here, you left click. So you have 3.0 degree and 3.0 degree. So you have this point there. You can navigate to what we have up here so that you can have the fourth point here. So the first point will be easting is 3, northing is 15. So you had a point, and then you come here, have easting is 3 degree, 3.0, and northing is 15, 15.0. And all those things we have. So when you are done, you now click on setting, the setting, transformation setting, what you want to transform, what you want to do. So you say you want linear, and then the output, what you want the output to be. So you can now say TR transform or georeference geo Nigeria. Reference Nigeria. So okay, that's what you want to save it. Leave the transformation type as linear. Leave the coordinate referencing system as WGS 84. Then every other thing you leave it as it is and click OK. So after that, you now come to start georeferencing. You click on this and it's going to give you different properties, and once it is done, it's going to display it in your window, in your map window. So now we are done, successful. So you can now download. So this is georeference Nigeria. So now this is the new georeference for Nigeria is now in geographic properties. So when you look at this, when you look at the coordinates as you are moving, the coordinate is equivalent to what you have in your image. That is how you can georeference property. And the next stage now is to move to digitizing. And then the first thing you need to do in digitizing is you have to create the layer you want to do. So I'm going to create shapefile, and then you navigate to where you want to put it. Let's say Nigeria boundary, Nigeria bound, and click OK. So under the geometric type, you have polygon because it is going to be polygon. We have point, area, and we have point, line, and polygon. And then you put the first coordinate, let's call it first column that you want in your database. Okay. So you now have neighbor Nigeria boundary, and then you can now zoom to a bigger area, and then you can now use the toggle editing tool, which is the yellow pencil tool on the toolbar. And once you toggle it, then it changes, it activates the red current edit, and then you can now start digitizing, adding polygon. So you go to the site, and then you start adding point with left click, and then you continue this. You want to produce a boundary of Nigeria, you continue with this, and then when you get to a place that is difficult to continue, again you move the palm, and then you move the palm, you go back again to pick your tool, and you continue. Because sometimes you get to the edge of the map that is difficult for you to continue. Maybe you have reached the edge of your screen. So what you just need to do is to go and pick the pan tool, or you pick the zoom in tool or zoom out tool, and then as you pick this tool, you move it, you use it. Like now I want to use the pan tool to move back, so I just go to pan, and then I move my area to so that I can walk, I can make active the working area. Then you go and pick your tool again and you start digitizing. So here I want to digitize the full boundary of Nigeria, and after that I can cut into different states. This one again, I'm going to move it, up. So you the more the vertices you had, the better your map. Your map can be as accurate as to maintain you respect each of the curves that you have there. There's some imagination that you should not ignore when you are digitizing. So the number of, as you are adding the vertices and the nodes to your map, you are making it more accurate. You are making the curves to be realistic, to be as it is on the ground. So you keep on picking the tool, and depending on when you come to the Niger data, you can actually respect all those imaginations, all those creeks. But here we just want to digitize, the boundary of Nigeria, and we are almost done. And as we are doing this, you are perfecting your knowledge of using GIS. You can actually digitize anything. You can digitize images. You can extract data from aerial photograph, or you extract data from satellite images, and you can have images that have been stored in the archive, your maps that have been stored in archives for years. You can actually go there, you scan them, and then you reference them, and you are ready to work. You are ready to use the map to do your exercise, especially when you want to do change analysis. Now I'm almost done with the map. So when you are done, you now right click, and it will give you this window, and then you can put one. Here is asking you to put user ID. So now we have the boundary of Nigeria. You can zoom to layer to see what you have done. That is how you can digitize the boundaries of Nigeria. So if you want to digitize the state, the same process, but what we want to do now is to make Olo, what we have drawn, and then what you do is you can double click and come to symbology, and under this symbology you say, okay, you want opacity to be 100. So you can click on this and you say, okay, you don't want fill, you want it to be hollow. So now you are there, you can see what is inside. So that you want to cut, you can now cut this into different states. What you have before is the boundary. You can copy this boundary separately, and then you can now start cutting the state, the boundary of the national boundary into different respective states. And how you do it is this. Now we want to cut polygon. Use this tool after you have selected the let's say save, then go back, and this time around you have street features. So you can now pick on this feature. Okay, you have to be very meticulous. You have to make sure that you start from outside the boundary, and then you when you are done, you just double click, and then you do this for all the boundary. You start from outside the polygon, and then you cut the polygon, digitize, round that, and then you make sure that you are out of the polygon before you double click. And once you double click, you're going to cut the polygon for you. It can take some time. So that is how you digitize the boundaries of each of the states. You can cut the entire polygon of the area into different states, and you can do the same for digitizing the state into different local government. Let's cut Adamawa also. So when you left click, make sure that you start from outside the polygon, and then when you are done, you make sure that then you now right click, and then you are done. You start from outside with left click, and then when you are inside the polygon, make sure that you are inside the polygon before you right click, and then you are good to go. So that is how you go about georeferencing your map and digitizing different segments. Thank you, and meet you in the next series.